Today we are learning how the pop song to end all pop songs was made. Toxic by Britney Spears. We're diving into the original studio multi-tracks and they are going to sound like this. Toxic was written and produced by the legendary duo Bloodshy and Yvonne, along with Cathy Dennis and Henrik Jonbach. It was released on January 12, 2004 and was the second single from Britney's fourth studio album, In the Zone. In this video, we'll be uncovering all of the elements that went into making what is arguably the greatest pop song of the 2000s. So we have the drums and percussion, bass, guitar, strings and synths, and of course Miss Britney's vocals. We are on a mission to find out what makes this song so great, and I think it's time we get started. Drums and percussion, here we go. Alright, bring in the percussion. Okay, I know we're just getting started, but I kind of forgot how classic those drums are. And then the percussion that comes in as well, which I mean is pretty tame sort of early on, it's really just a shaker. But then when Britney starts singing on the verse, and then it sort of drops out again for the pre-chorus, and then comes back in full force on the chorus, which is sort of what we heard that second part. Yep, already loving this. Also just a little bit of a Max Martinism on that snare, sort of layering like the snare, snap and clap all together to create its own unique sound. Okay, we're going to hear these tracks again soon, but let's jump over to its counterpart, and that is the bass. If you asked me what I thought it sounded like when aliens would speak to each other, and yeah, similar to that layered snare track, I think the bass has a very unique sound as well. It just brings a certain attitude and flavour to the song. It actually feels quite light for a bass, I think, which is kind of just a nice change of pace and really lends itself to the song. So we'll put those parts together in just a second, but we've got one more track, which is what I think really sort of glues the bass and the drums and percussion together, and that is the guitar. Ah man, honestly, it's a pretty simple guitar part, like it really just repeats from the intro to the verses to the pre-chorus, and just when you think you're settled, the chorus comes in and like totally switches things up and just comes through with a heap of extra energy. I guess it does seem quite small when you just isolate the tracks like that, but then when you put the licks back with the other tracks, well, yeah. Man, see what I mean? The bass and the guitar together and then the drums and percussion. Yeah, oh my god. It's also kind of insane to me that Bloodshy, who produced the song, said that this almost wasn't going to make the cut on the album because I guess Britney's team or her label or whoever thought it was just a bit too crazy and weird. And now it's gone on to be her biggest song. I mean, I kind of get it from both ends, but also this song's amazing. Okay, moving on, and before we get into the synths and Britney's vocals, we have one last guitar track. Let's dive in. I didn't realize that was going to be just in the left ear, but anyway. Surely that electric guitar isn't on the actual song, and actually, just let me check.
A few moments later.
Okay, turns out it's there, and it is just sort of tucked in on the chorus, really deep in the mix, and just sits there to add some texture to Britney's vocal. Totally shouldn't work, and yet it's just kind of perfect. It feels like they took maybe just a little bit of inspo from, I mean, I know Britney was a fan, but took a bit of inspo from Janet Jackson's If, and I'll include a link to that video as well, because that song and that part in particular is just insane. Okay, anyway, now for what is probably the most recognizable part of the song, at least to me. Well, I mean, okay, no, that's a lie. It's the most recognizable by a mile, besides maybe Britney's voice, and that is the string section and that iconic Bollywood sample. Get ready. Man, what a trip. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Britney Spears is the queen of iconic intros. I mean, every single song you just recognize within the first 2 seconds. Well, actually, most of the songs you recognize on the first note, like this. And for reference, here is the original sample. And it sounds like they added another layer on top of those samples just to really thicken it up and sort of tie it in with the rest of the song. Just another crazy sound that's made it on the track. It totally shouldn't work, but it does. Okay, one last track before Britney, The Synths. And now for the chorus. Okay, this song's just a little bit on my mind because we did a video on it like a month ago, but I think there's a certain ray of lightism by Madonna about that. And I mean, if you're going to draw from anyone, there is no one better than that. I mean, she's not given enough credit vocally, but I don't think she's given enough credit in particular as a creative individual, because she's got a really strong vision and just has such a good team of people around her, really helping pull from all of these different sources and just create something new and fresh. And tracks like this just make that super clear. All right, moment of truth. Britney's vocals, let's get into it.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hit, baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Too high, can't come down. Losing my head, spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? With the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. The taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know that you're toxic?
All right, let's keep it rolling.
It's getting late to give you up. I took a sip from the devil's cup. Slowly, it's taking over me. Too high, can't come down. It's in the air and it's all around. Can you feel it now? With the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under paradise. I love what you do. Taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. Poison paradise. Know that you're toxic.
Okay, didn't know that was in there at all. Those background vocals and those extra lead vocals with like the crazy auto-tune on them. I mean, Britney's already super influential to today's artists, but I mean, those auto-tune vocals has Brat by Charlie XCX just written all over it. If it wasn't already obvious, Britney is the blueprint. Let's put the lead and the backgrounds together on the chorus, and then we'll finish the last bit off with the bridge.
Ooh, the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. The taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic? Don't you know that you're toxic? Taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. The taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? The taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. The taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now.
I feel like Britney gets a lot of flack for her voice, but then you hear tracks like this and all of the work that goes into these vocals. I mean, you can just tell they were having like an absolute blast in the studio. I think that really comes through in the final song as well, just like how much fun this was to make, and then you get so much enjoyment out of it as a listener because you know they were having fun. Is that the secret to amazing pop songs? Well, it works for me. Okay, so we've broken down all of the elements that went into making this absolute hit of a song. Now it's time we go through piece by piece and put the entire song back together. And if you've made it this far, make sure to hang until the end because you're going to hear Toxic how you have never heard it before. Toxic, Britney Spears, here we go.
It's getting late to give you up. I took a sip from my devil's cup. Slowly, it's taking over me. Too high, can't come down. It's in the air and it's all around. Can you feel? Ooh, the taste of your lips. slipping under. Taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? Taste of your lips, I'm on a run. You're toxic, I'm slipping toxic. Taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now.
And that was Toxic by Britney Spears. If you want more great pop anthems like this, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you want to see next. Alright, I love you, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.